It's time once again for a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle.
How you doing, man?
Oh, not too bad.
Glad to have you back.
Yeah, what happened? Why wasn't I here last week? I turn on, I'm messing around online with a couple of the guys, and you're posting some video. We're joking around. Next thing I know, there's a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle being posted. I didn't get a phone call.
And it has Edie in it.
It's got Edie in it. And I'm like, but it doesn't say a couple of cold ones with Corey and Edie. It says a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle. And I'm like, I got to listen and find out what. And you're talking about calling her. You never call me, dude. What happened?
Well, first of all, people know that sometimes it'll rotate if you can't be here. You were gone for 2 weeks, but I knew you could be here probably last week. But I just got back from out of town. Things were kind of rushed. And I don't think you were in that good of a mood last week either.
Dude, I will always come to work, man.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm glad to see you have
this
air professionalism.
Dude, I'm a pro, dude. I've got work ethic. I've had to write for weeks and weeks on end about things I didn't care about. Back when when we were doing blogs for this, and I had to blog about. You think I really care what Paris Hilton is up to? You think I really care about Lindsay Lohan?
That's why I was wondering why were you writing about Paris Hilton?
Because that was all that was in the news, dude, and we had to do it. So I did it.
Okay. No,
I will do my job.
I know you have this air professionalism, as you should know by now. I don't.
Well, I don't sound like I'm a professional. That's why I work. It's my idiom.
Well, I don't know what that word means, but but I'm glad to see that you're willing to sit down and do what you feel like you need to do. Because when I came back, I was out of town, as you know, and when I came back, so many things were just left undone on my part. And I was just rushing through stuff, and it just between you and me, Edie was bugging the hell out of me to do one of these. So just with her and I. So this will be
now
a good
that it's
week.
out of the way, it's done. But dude, it was my idea. It's my thing. I do it with you.
No, I tell everybody. It had been my intention ever since we started to do a weekly show. And I was planning on doing it with all of you, but you were the one that jumped on it, and you thought of the name.
Yeah, well, because nobody can get together at the same time over the weekend. We've all got different stuff going on. Everybody's busy. And you and I were like, wait, we both work Sunday nights, but we can get together, have a couple of beers, get in the zone, work, talk, do this, and then bam, go on and do the rest of our work night. Because the guys are asleep at this point. I mean, when we record this, we're really recording this in the middle of the night.
Yeah, no,
we are not kidding around. This is not just some joke that they recorded in the middle of really it's Saturday afternoon and they're sitting in a studio. No, we're recording this in the middle of the night.
No, it is so late at night that I just found out that I wasn't getting a warning from one of my neighbors. It was from apparently two.
Ooh, way to go.
Is what I've been told. So I'm thinking that it was the neighbor next door and the neighbor on the other side. And so I already went over and threatened them. Because I called about.
Did you pull crazy black man on? What the fuck you do? Call me.
Exactly.
You call down to the office?
Yeah, no. Because
I got family.
Exactly.
No. I got a crazy cousin that I'll call over here. Don't make me call Crazy Carl.
No, I because I called the office because I had this. I said you have received a warning about noise at all times of the night, and I said, well, I better take care of this. So I called the property owners, and I'm like, what kind of complaints have you received? I think it's one neighbor, and I'm sorry about that. And you tell them, like, well, it's anonymous that we can't tell you anybody. And it's been more than one.
Oh yeah, it's anonymous. She's banging on the fucking wall, dude. It's not very anonymous.
That's what I told the guy on the phone. I was like, man, she's hitting on my wall. I know exactly who it is, and there's only one other person it could be besides her. And the other person smiles at me all the time when I'm walking up to my car. She's always, hey, Corey, how you doing? And one day she did that. She's like, hey, Corey, how you doing? I just walked over to him like, bitch, I know it's you. And walked off. You have a good day.
And that's why I don't live next door to Corey.
And I went next door to the other one.
Bitch, I know it's you.
Gave her a box with a cat's head inside of it. No, I didn't do that. As a matter of fact, I haven't said anything to anybody because I've kind of fixed the problem. So everything's good. And when I say fixed, I do mean fixed.
All right.
So with that said,
let's move to the top 5 and get the hell out of this uncomfortable situation. Dear God, this parachute's a knapsack.
I beat somebody with a bag of oranges. That's what I did. Yeah. No, I didn't do that. Here, let's go on and get to the top 5 like we do every week. And starting with number 5, we have.
Now this is an interesting week. It's a week that's going to be, it's got some really crazy stuff going on.
Okay, well, I don't know what that crazy stuff could be, but I'll go ahead and read this off. I think it's crazy enough that Drill Bit Taylor is still in the top 5. It's number 5.
Really? You think that the Owen Wilson comedy produced by Judd Apatow is still in the top 5, even though it's at number 5, is a stretch?
And it hasn't made all that much. Over 2 weeks, it's made $20 million. But I don't know, man. I mean, even from the previews, look like a really watered down version of Superbad.
It's made a total of $20 million?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Over 2 weeks.
Over 2 weeks. You remember that Meet the Spartans made $18 million its first weekend?
I know. So what's the point here?
It's, this really isn't a lot of money.
No, I know. But to me, I saw the movie. The movie's fucking lame, and $20 million is way too much for that movie. I don't give a damn if Owen Wilson's in it or not. I was talking to, like, Edie last week, and Edie's feeling sorry for Owen Wilson because he almost killed himself. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I mean, it doesn't mean that we need to go and make his movie a success just to make him feel better if he made a shitty movie. And besides that motherfucker has more money and more women than I'll see in a long time. So I don't even know why he's trying to kill himself. Now, why are you looking at me? Am I being insensitive?
No, I don't know why that would be insensitive at all, Corey.
Tired of hearing about
possibly be a chemical imbalance. Personally, I could give a shit. It's I don't care about your mental problems. I don't care what happened to your life. Did you make a good movie? Owen Wilson's made a lot of good movies in his career. He gets a lot of shit, but he's made some really good stuff. He's a really smart guy. And this just isn't that movie. But $20 million isn't anything to be upset about. It's like, why is it still in the top 5? Because there ain't shit out there. That's why it's still in the top 5.
I'm just saying, money and ass.
Once we look at the number 2, we can talk about why is that still up there.
All right. I just want to let you know, money and ass will balance any chemicals I have. So,
and you use money and ass for the chemicals.
Exactly. So, no problems there. And just before we go on, I just want to say that I do think Owen Wilson is a very talented guy.
He is.
Yeah, no, he's very funny.
In fact, it's funny. I wrote a piece this week because it's kind of odd. Luke Wilson gets all the credit. Like, who's the more talented Wilson brother, Luke Wilson or Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson, definitely.
The thing is, most people will say, I like Luke Wilson better. But you look at his history of movies, and there's like 1 or 2 good movies in there. Everything else is crap. It's like real crap. And the good movies he played small roles in. He doesn't have a great career. Owen Wilson has all this great stuff, but it's surrounded by all these terrible, obnoxious films that's what we think of when we think of him. We think of Zoolander. Yeah. We don't think of the fact that he wrote the Royal Tenenbaums.
Well, it all comes down to who just has a little bit more energy, because they're both doing the same shit in every movie. They have one thing they do, and that's be Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson. Owen Wilson is just a tad bit more energetic than Luke Wilson.
Well, he broke the nose and it released the energy into his system.
I guess, yeah. I was going to leave his nose alone, y'all.
Why would you leave his nose alone?
Because I talked about it enough last week.
You probably did. I couldn't get that far.
Okay. All right. So let's go to number 4, which is...
Number 4.
Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns.
Which, proves that, black people do still go to the movies. So,
Apparently, when the only time they go to movies is when Tyler Perry releases a movie, because, like I said last week, I saw this in New York, and there was not a single white face.
Now, why would a white person in New York City go to a Tyler Perry movie?
I don't know, to experience the culture. I
mean, now, granted, down here, whenever they show the movies, you see 5 or 6, and usually, they're dating somebody of the other country.
I don't know. I thought you might have at least had like maybe a white person who has that look like, I want to see what the other side lives like. I would like to see other cultures.
Dude, we don't give a shit about other cultures unless we're conquering them. That's the white way.
Well, I thought they might have sent a spy into the theater.
Yeah, let's send a spy in. No one will notice.
Yes, these beasts have a weakness for Tyler Perry. We kill Tyler Perry. We conquer the people.
Dude, Tyler Perry's a genius. I think the guy is awesome. And the reason why is he's doing what several of us have been preaching for years.
What's that?
He doesn't get big name stars. He gets talented actors. He has very simple scripts that are targeted to a specific audience, and they're made for no money. They skimp on it. They're not big bloated budgets. They don't, have big budget blowouts of trying to figure out who gets paid how much. It's like, look, let's bring in real actors, give them scripts that they'll enjoy, that their audience will love, and throw it out there and make a profit.
No, that's true. Because like Denzel Washington will get a Tyler Perry script and look at the contract and say, you want me to work for a bucket of fried chicken? No, I don't think so.
No, but but if that script had gone to Denzel Washington, it would be passed around to all the A-list black actors, and it would be all the same actors we see in everything. And then all these actors who work in Tyler Perry movies might get roles as stand-ins. And then everybody would be paid $2, $3, $4 million a piece. And when the movie only makes $30, $40 million, it's like, oh, well, our $50 million movie bombed.
Yeah.
You have Tyler Perry make it. He makes it for $5, $10 million, and all of a sudden it makes $20 million opening weekend. It's a hit.
No.
This is how movies are made. You find your audience, you tailor it to them, and you make it for as cheap as possible, but still don't skimp on the quality.
No, you're right.
Are Tyler Perry movies formulaic? Yes.
Yeah.
Do the audiences love them? Hell yes.
Oh, they love them to death, man. When you hear Tyler Perry is writing a script, that's like almost Christmas Day for black actors who haven't worked in a long time. Like, shit, I haven't worked in 6 years. I can be in a Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But Tyler Perry, that dude, I mean, he really is, when it comes to business, oh, man, that guy, I think he is a borderline genius because he has made himself a brand name just starting out by doing little cheap plays.
Yeah.
And he's come from doing cheap-ass plays in the South on what they call the Chitlin Circuit.
The Chitlin Circuit.
That's how cheap that shit is. They call it the Chitlin Circuit. And for those white people who don't know, chitlins are they're pig intestines. So, as I said, I don't know what that has to do with making plays. But
then what are collard greens?
What are collard greens? Collard greens are the brains of a homeless man.
Collard greens, grits, chitlins. Yummy.
Collard greens is goat ass. No, collard. Got me talking about collard greens. No.
Why would you even think of? You think of goat ass.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the
crazy. Is it that time of night? Is that there's no ladies around, so it's goat ass time?
For people who don't know, this time of night is exactly.
Oh, Corey!
Come midnight, a lot of people don't know. At midnight, black people eat goat ass raw. So you got me all mixed up, man.
Oh my God, you mixed up. You went off on that tangent, my friend.
No, I was going to say
me for that shit.
But he's come into Hollywood, and he has done what a lot of people have struggled for a long time to do, what a lot of them have been able to do, and that is really own his brand. He's
the Kevin Smith of the African American community. He's making these films that appeal to just one specific group of people. The Tyler Perry films don't resonate with me because I didn't grow up in that culture, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he targets his culture. He makes his films cheap enough. They all profit.
Yeah,
dude,
so good. Good
and
for
he's
him.
Branded. Way to
go.
go.
Bravo for him.
Hey, he's still in the top four. You know,
here you go.
Congrats. Let's cling to Tyler Perry.
There you go, Tyler Perry, and he's gonna be over the Enterprise too, over Starfleet Command.
Oh, really?
Oh, did you not hear this?
No, I did not hear this.
He's going to be in the Star Trek movie.
At this point, I've stopped paying attention to Star Trek casting. Once they cast Bones, I was like, I don't give a rat's ass anymore who's in this fucking film.
Yeah, so
dude,
well, just
fucking,
to let you know,
fucking Carl Urban as Jim McCoy.
Carl Urban, the guy from Pathfinder?
Yeah, you didn't. Now, this is what you don't know. You know about Tyler Perry. You don't know Carl Urban, Pathfinder.
I knew Simon Pegg was going to be
Scotty, which was awesome. But no, Bones is going to be played by the most wooden actor of all time. The guy who was the Viking raised by Indians in Pathfinder.
Well, hey, man, it's J.J. Abrams. No, he probably knows what he's doing. So
let's hope this isn't the thing where he goes off the rails.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams is a guy responsible for Lost and Cloverfield, everybody. So I trust him. So let's go on to number 3 here.
Number 3.
Which is superhero movie. And
how much did it make?
Not much. $9 million.
$9 million.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, that's half of what Meet the Spartans made.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, that makes me happy.
You know what doesn't make me happy, though?
What?
Is that it was actually a better movie than Meet the Spartans. It was not. I'm going to tell you this. You know how we walked out of Meet the Spartans pissed?
Well, we were pissed off, yeah.
Yeah, but this movie, not only was I not pissed when I walked out, but I had about 3 or 4 good laughs. I mean, genuine, belly aching, good laughs.
But let me ask.
What?
Were those laughs worthy enough to not charge our parent company for the price of admission? Are you getting reimbursed for that ticket?
Well, I will.
So it wasn't that
Damn,
good.
See, you busted me, man. I sneaked into the movie. I ran in and watched the movie. I'm not going to say what, and I hope nobody recognizes me doing this, but there's one place in town that I can go to where I can always depend on being able to just walk in.
Really?
Those ushers just don't give a shit. It's all run by teenagers, and they just don't give a shit.
Well, now, okay, you know what? Let's share a secret. Here's a little secret, because I know this secret too, and I just don't brag about it. But you know what? Let's share the secret with the rest of the world. We shouldn't. But the secret to sneaking into movies is to walk in as if you know exactly what you're doing. And to walk in confident, like, of course I'm walking in here. You don't look at the usher at all. You just walk in. If he looks at you, you just nod at him and smile and keep walking, because he'll assume you've already bought a ticket and you just went out to your car.
Well, here's what you do, people. And I'm going to say this because I think movies cost too much. Save a ticket stub. Save different ones to see what color they are. And when you're walking in, the guy's going to look at you, and you just hold up your ticket stub and be like, hey, okay. And you just keep walking. And if it's from far away, they're not going to say anything.
That's too complicated. I don't even do that.
Just to keep a ticket stub? That's too complicated?
No, because then you risk the thing of, hey, let me look at the ticket stub. Then you get busted. But if he says, hey, where's your ticket stub? Oh, my wife has it in the theater. And it's like, oh, okay, sir, please go on in. I am clearly just a 16-year-old with my first job. Dude, you just walk. I mean, because we do it for sneaks all the time. That's where I learned it, where I just walk in, and one out of every maybe 20, 30 people will go, hey, what are you here for? Why are you just walking by? It'll be, oh, I'm here for the press screening. Oh, the lines over here. Yeah, well, I'm press. Yeah. It'll be, oh, okay.
Yeah, you can do that for press screenings and press. But they've cracked down on that a little bit, too.
But most of the time, when you walk through that door, you just walk in, and they don't care. Now, me, I don't really have to do this because I have 2 theaters in town that the managers have said, look, drop my name at the door and say I'm a guest of so-and-so, and you can go for free. So I go for free anyway.
Well, I'm feeling kind of stupid at this one theater that I go to because I'm actually, like, sneaking by on tippy toes and all that. And the usher's looking at me. It's some teenage girl, and she's looking at me like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting paid enough to come stop you. And you're way bigger than I am. What do you think I'm going to try and do? There's no cops around here. You know, crazy.
I'm hearing those sound effects. The ding, ding, ding,
yeah, ding, 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 ding. And not only it's the sound effects, but can you see this big black dude just walking by on tippy toes and this girl just looking at him like, what the fuck is going on with him? But I will say this about superhero movie though, man. It's a two-way thing for me because on the one hand, I wish it had made a little bit more money because it's so much better than Meet the Spartans. When I say so much better, I don't mean it's a good movie because it's not. It's still got the obligatory stupidness that
it's just, hey, we've taken all the scenes out of Spider-Man and we're putting it into...
And that's what made it work. I'm going to put up the review tomorrow morning that we did because we had to do it late because, hey, they had no screening for it. We all knew that. But at the same...
And yet we still don't have stop loss up in the site.
Yeah, we do.
Do we? Did it finally
I put it up yesterday afternoon.
Oh,
yesterday around 6 o'clock.
Okay, well,
yeah.
And yet we have stop loss on the site.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, we know the last time you've been on the site. But
speaking of which, stop loss... Well, we'll get to stop loss.
Yeah, we'll get to stop loss. But I just wanted to say that at the same time, I'm kind of happy that it made $9 million because I hope this is the case, that people are kind of waking up and realizing that all these parody movies are becoming kind of stale.
Dude, the word is out. When every critic just went after Meet the Spartans, we gave Date Movie a pass. We gave Epic Movie a pass. We didn't give a shit. They didn't give a shit. We're like, we were like those people who had been on a date, but the date didn't go well, and we run into each other at the bar, and we're just ignoring one another and just pretending that there's not this tension there. This time it was like, okay, look, I keep running into you in too many fucking places. You guys need to go fucking down. And then every critic jumped on Meet the Spartans for just how god-awful it was. And now everybody is, I mean, for weeks people kept going, oh, are you going to review superhero movie? And I'm just like,
yeah.
Why would I, there's reviewing it, and then there's like, really, nobody cared. And sure enough, nobody fucking cared. It made half the money that Meet the Spartans did, which means the teenagers are like, oh, yeah, dude, I just saw Meet the Spartans. I'm not going through that shit again.
Yeah, no.
Because I've gotten so many emails from some of our teen readers that are like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm one of those guys who paid. My friend, you don't understand. My friends dragged me along and said it's going to be funny, and then it wasn't funny. I should have listened to you. Well, yeah, I mean...
No, and you're right, because I've gotten the same emails.
Yep.
The same exact thing.
Probably same people.
I think so, because I'm getting to realize that we're getting emailed by the same multiple people. Is Alex Hacker riding your ass, man? I mean,
let's not even talk. See, now that you've mentioned him, he gets to say, yay, I've been mentioned 4 times.
I like Alex, though.
I like Alex, too, but, once
Alex knows I'll talk to him.
I mean, I don't get a chance to answer, the messages as often as I'd like because I'm just so busy with everything.
Yeah.
And when you open up your inbox and there's like 7 messages saying, "Hey, dude, would you like to hear a funny story?" It's kind of like, well, why don't you just send me the funny story, and I'll read the funny story. Why 7 messages asking me if I want to read a funny story?
I know. Alex is a good kid, though. I like Alex a lot. I'm not going to. Alex is looking for a father, I think. If your mom's hot, I might be there for you. I'd be your father for a day, Alex, if you let me send a picture of your mom and let me look at it.
Wow, that's uncomfortable. Let's move on to number 2. Let's just move on to number 2.
Number 2 is Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who.
Horton Hears a what the?
What the fuck? Yeah. Man, let me tell you something. I'm not surprised at all. And really, I don't even mind.
Dude, these Dr. Seuss movies, no matter how bad they've been, I haven't had a chance to see this one yet. I hear it's not as bad as the others.
No, it's not
terrible. I just hear it's not great either.
Leon really disliked it because he's so close to Dr. Seuss, and I see why. I'm looking at it from the standpoint that it's a great looking film. It's well produced. It's just they don't exactly know how to stretch it out. I'm not saying that they can't. They just don't know how.
Well, there's no way. Dr. Seuss wrote 5-minute books that were a stretch into 22-minute to 22-minute cartoons. I mean, a few of them worked. The Horton Hears a Who is an all right one.
The Grinch?
The Grinch is great.
Oh, yeah,
the Butter Battle Book is great. Cat in the Hat as a 22-minute was great. Mm-hmm. But back 90
then,
minutes?
See, back then they had people who wrote great songs for these shorts.
Yeah. They
had great animators with great imagination. Now these are just mass-produced products.
Well, but by the same token, I mean, there's some really great people involved, but it comes to a method. It's like what happened with King Kong. Look, Peter Jackson is a genius. King Kong is one of the greatest monster movies ever made. But you take a 100-minute movie and you stretch it to 176 minutes, it's going to get thin.
Yeah.
I don't care what cool stuff you throw in there. Eventually, it's just going to get to a point where it's like, all right, shoot him off the fucking tower already. For the love of God. He's been out there for 10 minutes.
I know. And we don't need these scenes of brontosaurus running over people. Because a lot of this stuff, you can just tell, no matter how cool it is, you just feel it. And that's what they do with this movie. Exactly right. It looks gorgeous, man. It's one of the best movies I think that company has done visually. It's from the same people who did Ice Age. And they kept the look of Dr. Seuss's characters too.
I hate the Ice Age movies though.
I like them.
I hate them with a passion.
Well, then maybe you won't feel so bad about this movie then. But this movie did something that I think they should have done a long time ago, and that is make it CG. I thought they should have done that from the very beginning when they said Jim Carrey's going to be the Grinch. I was like, fuck me, man. Just use him as a voice, but just make it CG.
Remember how cool it was when we thought Mike Myers was going to be the Cat in the Hat?
I never thought it was cool.
I thought it was going to be awesome because Mike Myers is hilarious. And then
the moment I heard Mike Myers' name in Cat in the Hat in the same sentence, I was pissed.
That was such a bad movie.
And that movie was a lot worse than I thought it would ever be.
Yeah, that movie was pretty fucking bad. But you drew a great cartoon that I wish we had available on T-shirts here in the Spill store, which doesn't exist.
Again, I can't put it up because I think it'd be trademarked. Maybe parody.
No, it's parody, dude. You guys probably haven't seen this because most of you don't live in Austin. But Corey did this great cartoon where he had the original Dr. Seuss drawn style Cat in the Hat strangling the shit out of the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat. And it was a really funny, perfect rendition of what it felt like watching that movie.
Thank you, man, and I really appreciate that.
That's one of my favorite things you've ever done.
That came from true feelings. I mean, when I was so pissed that night when I did it. That I was like, I'm not doing a scene from this movie.
You don't have to make fun of that movie at all. You have Seuss coming from the grave to kick Mike Myers' ass, and that is what it's all about. Well, but I hear Horton Hears a Who isn't that bad. Although I will say, God bless Horton Hears a Who because I was at IHOP the other day, and have you had the mayor's breakfast?
The mayor's breakfast.
The mayor's breakfast. Oh my God! You got to go to.
Is that like the mayor of a town? Is it the mayor?
Yeah.
No, what is that?
It's green eggs and ham served with Who cakes.
Really? Yeah, and that's all in conjunction with Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who movie?
It's got
nice.
It's spinach. It's a spinach omelet served with a side of ham, and then you get shortbread cakes covered in what's boysenberry and blueberry syrup, but it's dressed up like very Whoville.
Shit, I'm going to IHOP tonight after this.
It's like $5.99, $6.99. It's one of those two, and I had to have it.
Speed this thing up, man.
Dude,
I got to go to
green
IHOP.
Green eggs and ham. I do not. Oh wait, no, I really do like that green eggs and ham. Dude, I love that.
By the way, Edie said this. I don't know if this is true or not. But she said
I don't believe it.
Okay, but maybe I hope she doesn't know what she's talking about. But she said that they're making a green eggs and ham movie.
Well, they've optioned it. Okay. I mean, but they've optioned everything. I mean, it's like there was that whole big deal where they optioned Monopoly. And it's like, they're going to make a Monopoly movie. It's like, no, they're not going to actually make a Monopoly movie. They optioned it because it comes with, by optioning, that's one of the more well-known things in the option that also gets them stuff like Magic the Gathering and gets them a lot of other weirder ones that will actually, you can make a Candyland movie.
I want to see a Monopoly movie. I just want to see what they can do by making a Monopoly movie.
Michael Bay's Monopoly. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yes, explosions all over the board.
No. I want to see if not that one, then we can always do the Monopoly on My Heart, which will be, the movie where we have the beach bum played by Matthew McConaughey. And then the rich, uptown girl played by Kate Hudson. And she owns all of Boardwalk, and he owns all of Park Place. And together...
I like that idea. Hey, man, don't ever work for Hollywood because that would get done. You just pitched an idea. But I would go for it only if Matthew McConaughey dresses up like that little mayor on Monopoly. Anyway, so Dr. Seuss is Horton Hears a Who. It's number two. And it's not that. And really, I'm okay with that. For kids, it's not that bad.
Dude, it's a family film. Yeah. In March, it's going to do huge.
I'm not going to complain about that.
So number one, the question is it Stop Loss, the touching war drama about a guy coming back from Iraq, or is it the gambling movie with Kate the Hottie Bosworth?
Or is it Run, Fat Boy, Run?
Run, Fat Boy, Run didn't open wide this week, did it? I thought it opened limited.
No, open wide.
Oh, okay. Well, or is it Run, Fat Boy, Run? Clearly, it isn't Run, Fat Boy, Run because they didn't mention it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
which one is it?
It's 21.
It's 21.
Yeah.
That's right. The Kevin Spacey, Kate Bosworth gambling movie.
Oh, yeah. No, that movie of course it was going to be 21. I mean, as you're going to say, it is more lighthearted than Stop Loss. It got much more push than Stop Loss.
And it got better reviews.
And it got better
People enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't reviewed that well. 21.
Oh, everyone I've talked to said it was good.
If you go on Yahoo or Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a green splat and it's got an average of C. I actually went and saw the movie. I'm not crazy about it,
but it got better reviews than Stop Loss because Stop Loss all had the same reviews.
No, Stop Loss actually got a B.
Well, okay, if you're gonna okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I saw. I'm not trying to argue with you, man.
No. The problem with Stop Loss, which was number 7, wasn't it? Didn't it come in at number 7, or did it squeak into number 6?
No, it's lower than number 7. I think it's number 9.
It dropped?
No, it's 8. It's number 8.
Oof. It was number 7 by Saturday. Yeah. No, it was one of those things where everybody said, wow, what a really good movie, but God, it's so depressing. I don't ever want to watch this again.
But no, that's not the reason why, really. I mean, of course, a movie like 21 it's an entertainment movie. And it's not a message movie, so it's gonna do better just by default, I think. But man, and even all the time. I mean, let's look at it. Let's look at it technically here. It's Stop Loss only. It's got like 1,400 theaters less than 21.
Well, no, you're comparing it to 21. Let's compare it to the other 4 movies that beat 21 that were all holdovers. Or actually, 3 of them were holdovers and 1 was superhero.
All of them had many more theaters that movie was being released.
But how much did Stop Loss make?
It made $4 million, but it's a smaller movie. It didn't get that much of a push, and as I said, it didn't get as wide of a release.
It's so depressing. Oh my God, dude! I'm telling you, it's war fatigue. Nobody wants to watch a movie about how much war sucks while we're fighting a war. Afterwards, yes, but while we're fighting, dude, because Dude, this country feels impotent. No matter how you feel about the war, you can't change. You can't help us win, and you can't help us pull out. We're stuck.
Well, I mean,
watching a movie about how much it sucks to be in it, what does that do? That's not entertaining.
But see, this is what I'm going to argue with you about.
Go for it.
I don't think that every movie has to be entertaining or escapist.
No. That's not my point. Because I agree with you. It doesn't all have to be escapism. It doesn't all have to be Michael Bay, look how cool reality would be if Will Smith really was a cop. No, but by the same token, there's also that whole aspect of there are certain things that you just don't want to pay to go see. You click on CNN or Drudge Report or Fox or whatever your news station of choice is, or you can go and talk to your friends, and it's all the same thing. It's all this all the time, and there's nothing. The news is never
But
good.
The other thing about this movie is you saying it's so depressing. I never got depressed during this movie. I never saw it as a depressing thing. I mean, it's a bummer, yeah, that this is actually happening to soldiers.